going to do a video this time because I really just don't feel like typing. Um, yeah, so we're going to do like kind of an update slash, um, oh my god, I forgot the word already. Recap. There it is. We're going to do an update slash recap of the last couple of months to bring everybody up to date. So, I apologize for my voice. I have no idea why it's doing this. Every so often, typically in the fall, I'll have like an allergy attack and lose my voice from it. I think this is probably stress. Because I've had some allergy issues, but nothing that would seem to make me lose my voice like this. All right, so in the last 2.5 months, 3 months, I've been hospitalized 3 times. The first time was for a exacerbation of my congestive heart failure. Kind of was fighting between not having enough fluids and being dehydrated, or having too much fluid and having the CHF act up. During that stay, was when my hair decided to fall out. That weekend, came home, and Eleanor shaved it for me, and she had a lot of fun doing it. I kind of figured it'd be good to let her have some fun doing it, not just all of a sudden show up at their house one day bald and have her not know what the hell was going on, kind of freak her out. So I think it was good to let her sort of partake in the process. Second time in the hospital was because my blood sugar was just out of control. I had actually called, I had no intention of going to the hospital, but I called the on-call that night at endocrinology. I forget what specifically made me call them, but basically my blood sugars were running between 200 and 300 pretty much consistently, most likely because of the chemo. We started with just doing Lantus, and that wasn't bringing it down. The on-call at endocrinology suggested that I go to the emergency room, which I did. They admitted me. I think I was there for maybe 3 days that time. And the doctor there added, oh my god, I can't think of the name of it. Novolog. Added Novolog, which is taken before meals. And then I also take Ozempic on top of it. So that's 3 different injections that I do now for the diabetes, as well as taking metformin twice a day. While I was in the hospital at that point, they noted that my magnesium and my vitamin B12 were low, so I now have to take supplements for those. Came home from the hospital, was home maybe a week, I think, and I developed this really weird dry cough, and every time I would cough, at the end of it, I would start like gagging and dry heaving. Every time. It was just really strange, because at no point did I feel nauseous or like I needed to throw up. I needed to have this cough, but then this cough would turn into this weird dry heaving experience. So it was one of these times when I just felt terrible. I think Brian drove me to the emergency department that night. Stayed with me overnight. He had to go to work the next night, so he left to go home and get some rest. They admitted me again. I think it was like 3 or 4 days I was there. They didn't do a chest x-ray. They did a CAT scan. And I don't even know what else they did. They ended up running like the whole gamut of blood work they could run on me at this point, which I was kind of glad, because they found a lot of stuff that nobody else had really been looking for. and I'd been feeling like absolute garbage for like 2 months at this point, outside of what seemed to be side effects from the chemo. So, they found that I had pneumonia, infectious pneumonia, I think they called it, in like the lower lobes of my lungs. They found that I had, I forget how it's, what the oh my God, I forget what the name of it is and what the abbreviation is. It's like SIRS or something along those lines, which is basically like infections like throughout your body, like your system is just infected. And of course, having been on chemo, my white count was very low as well, so it was really not a surprise that I ended up with these infections. In addition to that, there was also 2 types of bacteria that they found in urine cultures. And apparently, they didn't tell me this at the hospital. I had like a after admission or after discharge video visit with a bridge program something doctor who was also very helpful. And he had told me that I'm apparently now showing some signs of COPD. Granted, I was a smoker. I quit smoking 11 years ago, and I'm just now starting to show these signs of COPD. And the cancer very likely could be from, stem from my years as a smoker, but they don't really know for sure. So, all I can say is stop smoking. Just stop. Anybody that does and thinks, oh, it's no big deal. I only smoke half a pack a day, or I only have 1 or 2. Just stop. It's not worth it. When I ended up quitting, what finally did it for me after all of the years of watching my brother go through lung cancer, suffering, watching him die from lung cancer, watching my dad with emphysema, watching my uncle with emphysema, all those years, what it took to get me to quit was one of my friends reminding me that I was basically paying the cigarette corporations to kill me. Which, for some reason, that seemed to put it all in perspective for me. And that's what made me quit back in 2012. So, whatever it takes for you to quit, please do it. Please quit. Even vaping. They don't even know all of the effects that vaping has yet. So, just please stop. Don't end up like this hot mess you see before you. All right. So I was hospitalized several times. We got the sugars under control. I'm taking the supplements. We did some antibiotics to get rid of all the infectious stuff. I took a nice little trip to the beach this weekend, as you guys probably saw in the pictures. Ended up kind of having a rough time with walking. My body's basically just deconditioned. I don't have the lung capacity, lung power, whatever, that I used to have. My muscles are weak. I've actually, I don't know if you can see it really in me, but I have lost 50 pounds. Part of that is due to the Ozempic, and part of it is just having like a week at a time here and there where I couldn't eat anything. Just from the nausea and being sick. So, even though it was a little bit, it was a lot, physically taxing on me, it still was a wonderful weekend, and I'm glad I went. And it was something I just really, really needed to do. We did one night on the boardwalk, when we got down there Friday, round of mini golf, which we had so much fun. Why am I going to cry? I feel like I'm going to cry now over a stupid mini golf game. But it was just really nice. It was just me and Brian spending time together and just doing things we enjoyed doing. Saturday, we spent pretty much the entire day at the beach, which we actually ended up borrowing a beach umbrella. borrowing a beach umbrella, which kept, because I have to stay out of the sun too. You guys probably saw my cute little sun hat that I was wearing. I was very proud of that. That was a $10 purchase. Gotta love it. But I have to stay out of the sun, so the umbrella was very helpful. We were at Point Pleasant, and I've never been there before, and I don't know if it's always like this or if it's just this stretch of the beach or whatever. But you had to actually go, like you went like across the sand towards the water, and then all of a sudden it was like a slope to get down to the water, and there wasn't much room between the bottom of the slope and the water, so we were kind of standing like halfway on the slope for a good portion of the time that we were down there. But climbing back up was rough, and doing the walking the boardwalk was rough. I'd have to take a lot of breaks just to kind of catch my breath and let myself sort of re-energize. I'm still having a hard time thinking of words. All right, so that brings us to Sunday. I had my PET scan, by the way. I had my PET scan done on Thursday. I had my appointment Monday with the oncologist. I didn't want to update anything until I knew for sure what was going on, and I knew it was only going to be a day or two. So he was very happy to see the scan results. He says that it's not showing additional uptake, I guess, of it's a radioactive glucose that they inject into you, and that gets drawn into the areas where the tumor would be. And I guess the amount of it shows where and how much, the size of the tumor, that sort of thing. So he said there was less uptake, which is good. However, with as sick as I've been because of the chemo, he doesn't want to do the chemo anymore. So I was quite happy to hear that Monday when he was like, okay, go home. You don't have to go for a treatment. I was like, yay. But then he did tell me that one of the other options that we're going to look into now is to have interventional radiology do an ablation. And I just kind of glanced to see what exactly that meant. I guess it's they basically are guided into through the radiology, through the interventional radiology. I actually had a biopsy done through interventional radiology a few years ago, but they like guide in through using like a scan, CT scan, something like that, to figure out where they're going with whatever they're using, whatever tool. And I guess they like freeze. I think this is what I read, that they'll freeze the tumor and somehow like suck it out. I don't know. I didn't really understand the whole thing, and I haven't had the time or energy to really look too deep into it, but that's the next plan. Now, as far as work goes, I'm currently on short-term disability, and I'm in my 5th of 6 months. So basically, I have to be back at work by mid-September. If I'm not feeling better by mid-September, I can't go back to work. There's no way, in the physical condition that I'm in right now, there's absolutely no way that I can do that job. Even just to do checks and walk around the unit, I can't do it. And that also then ties in with going back to school, which would be probably, I don't even know the date, but within the next probably 2 weeks that I would have to go back to school. I haven't paid my tuition yet because I was actually approved for a program through work that does this promissory note loan agreement thingamajig. And if you take a position where people are needed and you stay in that position long enough, you don't have to pay back the funds. If you leave before that, then you do. So I was actually approved for this. I just need to sign off accepting it, but I haven't even done that because I don't know if/when I'm going back. So I've got to get in touch with HR. The other thing is then too, if I don't go back to work, there is a long-term disability option, but it really sounded like it doesn't do much. So I need to, I'm going to be talking to the oncology social worker to find out about applying for like disability benefits, like SSI, SSD, whatever, see what I'm eligible for. And as much as I don't want to go that route and I really want to finish school and want to go back to work, it just might not be an option for me at this time. So that is pretty much where I'm at. Oh, and then, yeah, last night fell out of bed because I've been getting very disoriented and not hyperactive, what's the word? Restless? I've been really restless and disoriented when I'm in bed. So I find myself flip-flopping around. I'll wake up in the morning with like my head at the foot of the bed or laying across the bed, and I can't tell, like, I can't tell where I am and like what position I am and in regards to like the room, like where I am in the room, where the door is, things like that. And I tend to get really upset too by it. I catch myself sometimes like kind of whimpering. Part of that's from being in pain. But Brian has said too that like in addition to me being all restless with moving around, that I've also been doing a lot of talking in my sleep. And like the other day I was like having a conversation with him and I thought that I was like reading or holding a greeting card, and I tried to like pass it to him and tell him that I couldn't open it. And he was like, "What are you giving me?" He was awake. This was him awake, me asleep and having a conversation. He says, "What are you giving me?" And I said, "It's this card. I can't open it." And he was like, "What are you talking about? You're not holding anything." And like that was enough to kind of like perk me up, like WTF. And I have no idea what led to that. But yeah, so last night I was apparently rutsching around enough that I rolled right out of bed, and my bed's fairly high up off the floor. And I must have landed, I either landed on there's like a shelf in my nightstand, like at the bottom. So I either landed on that or I landed just right on the floor on my ribs. I have been in so much freaking pain today. I don't even know how I got back to sleep last night. I think I was just that exhausted. Oh, and that was another thing. I went to sleep at 6 o'clock in the evening last night. 6 p.m. Came up just to lay down for a little bit. I didn't get out of bed until 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon. No, today. 1 o'clock today, this afternoon. So I think I did the math and that was like 20 hours. I probably added wrong. I don't know. Like I said, I can't think right anymore. But yeah, so it's been an eventful and adventurous couple of months. Really hoping that this ablation option works out and that we get it done and this damn tumor is just gone and they stop having to do all these god awful horrible things to my body, because I don't know if I can take much more. Alright, so that's me. That's my exciting life over the last several months. Yeah. If I come up with anything new, I'll keep you posted. But in the meantime, in the meantime, if I come up with anything new, until I know what's going to happen with the ablation, I have an appointment next Thursday to meet with the interventional radiologist. So I'll have more info, hopefully, at that time. Hopefully we can get things moving quickly, and hopefully I can get back to life, because this is no life to have. This really sucks. All right, I will talk to you all later.